played a lot of Lynx games this week, but holy crap, this one's just so good. I'm so excited about it. It's like Metroid, only without the hot chick. You know what? That makes it seem less good. Alright, think of a side-scroller where you're walking through a slime world, but the controls are a bit clunky, so it feels like you are walking through slime. Okay, that's not that flattering. Look, imagine this huge labyrinth, only without Jennifer Connelly. Actually, now we're losing the hot chick again. This is just not working. I'm coming up with awful comparisons. Point is, this is Todd's Adventures in Slimeworld, and it's probably my favorite Atari Lynx game. Even if it doesn't sound like it. Even without the hot chicks. Anyway, you play as Todd, who is anything but a hot chick. He's a guy who flies around the galaxy and finds slime planets. And then, like a kid with a salt shaker and a sidewalk full of garden slugs on a rainy afternoon, he goes inside those planets with a squirt gun and sprays every single native species that he sees for no reason other than to watch them explode. So Todd's an asshole, but you've also got to give it to him because his adventures are pretty enjoyable, even if his reasoning is, again, somewhat murderous and, at the very least, naturalistically insensitive. Either way, Todd's the man. Deal with it. And his Lynx game is the best Lynx game. You know the coolest thing about it? His Lynx game is kind of multiplayer focused, but you have to remember the Lynx is a system that, like, 7 people actually had. So Todd was literally like, what's that? Only 7 people bought a Lynx? Sounds good. Let's add 8-player multiplayer. Because Todd's the man. Deal with it. So, if you have friends who are as weird as you are, and have both an Atari Lynx and a copy of Todd's Adventures in Slimeworld for the Atari Lynx, well then I guess it's true what they say, there's truly someone for everyone on this strange planet spinning through the cosmos. Also, that means you can play Todd's multiplayer, and the only thing more fun than exploring these strange alien planets of slime is exploring them with a friend. Like, other than Todd. Todd's the man. Todd's always your friend. And if not, hey, the game's still awesome, and it really is a lot like Metroid. You land on a planet, you end up inside it, phrasing, and all you know is there's an exit somewhere. The question, obviously, is where that exit is and how you're gonna get there. And also, why is Todd, like, is he doing what it looks like he's, you know what, forget it, Todd's the man. Look, you know what's so cool about this game? Like, besides Todd and his general behavior and demeanor, it's like, you know, it's a game that has atmosphere, you know? Like, not quite to the extent of Metroid, but still, it's got atmosphere, nonetheless. You're going deeper and deeper into these dark tunnels, and things just keep getting more and more disgusting, and there's slime everywhere, and it's dripping from the ceilings, and it's oozing from the walls, and it's like, it's forming into these little pools at your feet. So then when you finally see those rare pools of water that you can clean yourself off in, it's just a huge relief. It really does a good job of creating that creepy, gross, alien kind of vibe. Again, not as well as Metroid at all, but still, pretty freaking good. Also, it's a bit different. You know, it's a bit more cartoony, it's a bit less dark. It's just a cool looking game, and the sound's good too. Of course, I mentioned earlier that the controls are a bit clunky. Well, that's because the controls, they're a bit clunky. Funny how that works. Like, it's a bit floaty, it's a bit imprecise. Jumping especially, it can be hard to jump with any precision or to land where you want to sometimes, which makes jumping difficult when you can't land where you want to. And all that stuff, that, you know, it's sort of a pet peeve of mine. Because, like, having grown up with platformers on the NES and the Super NES, I mean, my bar for how a platformer should control is like, I mean, it's like Mario, Mega Man. You know, games like that, just really responsive, really tight. Todd's not that responsive or tight. I mean, he's tight, but I mean that in the way rappers say it. Because Todd's the man. Deal with it. So listen, does it play perfectly? No. No, it doesn't, and yes, that's kind of a big deal. But once you get used to it, man, this is just a cool game. Like, there's a few different missions, and each one's slightly different. Each one has its own set of rules, but they all do the same thing. They drop you off on this disgusting planet with no direction, just a bunch of exploring, you know, and it's a fun place to explore. It's twisted, it's windy, and gross. It's very gross. It's Todd's Adventures in Slimeworld. It's like, imagine Castlevania, but combined with Ghostbusters 2. Hey, wait, that's a good comparison. Ha! Nailed it.